All right, everyone, as of last night with the Nevada race called instantaneously for Donald Trump because he was the only one on the ballot, and that was the sanctioned race. He got all the delegates. He got 99% of the vote. This is a soaring juxtaposition with the primary on which Nikkihaley was on a couple of days ago, in which she lost to none of the above candidates. None of the candidates literally won the Nevada primary, but it turned out higher for Trump in a one-person race than it was in the primary anyway. It couldn't be more stark. She's going to lose in South Carolina. Trump's not going to get a boost, really, from Nevada because, again, everyone knew what was going to happen. It was just a matter of did Nikkihaley manage to get enough votes to not lose to literally no one. She failed to do so by 30 points. And it was great. Oh, man, it was like, it's a dream come true. Every single race so far has been hilarious. Iowa. Nikkihaley gets humiliated by DeSantis, gets bumped to third place by a couple points, doesn't even change up her, well, it would normally be a speech where you admit defeat and you say, oh, I guess the people of Iowa don't like me. She goes into New Hampshire where she spent all of her money. She manages to lose by double digits there too. She then skips Nevada entirely. She's not even on the right goddamn ballot, loses to none of the above, and now she's going into her home state. She will lose. She'll probably, I'm thinking 30 points might be the gap by which she loses. When her career's over after that, she might be crazy enough to stay in. It's not a good look for her if she does, but I mean, she's made a number of crazy decisions anyway over the last few months, so it's Nikkihaley we're talking about. Republicans do love losing. Maybe it's sort of a sexual fetish thing for them, actually. Like, oh my god, I lost. Quick, I gotta rub one out. Think of that. Nikkihaley is playing with herself, pleasuring herself, thinking about Donald Trump's big fat victory in Nevada, one that she could not clinch. But her simps are still in denial. There's a link in the description. I mean, when I saw the headline, I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be a fluff piece, of course. I didn't expect it to be so vapid. It goes through a list of ways in which Haley can win. Well, Donald Trump is old and she's in her mid-50s. Well, Donald Trump's got problems. She can still get the delegates. By the way, she can run in 2028 if she doesn't get it this time around because she's actually got a few delegates. She gets 17 of them, I think. So a drop in the bucket compared to what Trump has, but she's on the board. She can maybe get a few on Super Tuesday in the proportional states. Maybe she'll end up at 50 or something like that. I think it's more about hoping for a brokered convention and saying, look, I'm the only person with a political pulse that stayed in the race and never dropped out, and now you're disqualifying Trump. Give me the nomination. By the way, I win by a legendary polling gap. That's the other thing. And the article points out, and the cope is real. They're stuck in the bargaining stage of grief. We'll get to that. But the cope is real. And the other thing is talking about polls, in which in some polls, Nikkihaley does ride ahead of Biden further than Donald Trump does. I have pointed out for years, since the 2016 election, this is due to what I call the Kasich effect. John Kasich, when he was running in 2016, was an also-ran. Many people didn't know anything about him. As a result of that, not in lieu of it, he ran ahead of Hillary Clinton further than any other candidate. Trump and Cruz and Rubio, etc., all the others, they didn't do as well in polling against Clinton as Kasich did. The reason, I speculated, and I hold to it, and I'm definitely goddamn seeing it with Nikkihaley now, is name recognition. John Kasich, because many people did not know his policies, because they were never exposed to him, they didn't see anything of him, they're like, oh, John Kasich is a Republican. So what does he represent in their minds? Generic Republican versus a specific opponent, which is unlikable, Hillary Clinton. Name recognition tends to decline a person's support, not increase it. It's weird, but I'm seeing it over and over again within politics. If you have less name recognition, you're more of generic person of this party. You appeal more to the partisans. Once people know your message, you tend to turn some people off because of specific single issues. So you can turn them off. You've got a certain view on guns, a certain view on abortion, a certain view on the border, a certain view on X, Y, and Z, anything under the sun. Some people have a hardline stance, are single-issue voters, and are automatically turned on or off by your position on those issues. So generic Republican paces better against the Democrat that is known, and generic Democrat paces better against the Republican that is known. So Donald Trump v. generic Democrat, the generic Democrat probably wins because partisans vote for them. Ideologues will vote for them. They don't have any reason to vote against them as long as they're against the other candidate whose ideology and name they know. And so that's what we're seeing with Nikkihaley in the polls. This article talks about this. I've seen it talked about by the Nikkihaley Simps over and over again. She polls better against Joe in a matchup than Donald Trump does. Yeah, because she's the generic Republican. These people are favoring her because they know who Joe Biden is. They know his policies, that he's president of the United States, and his memory's shot to hell. The DOJ admits that, so he's not really in control. But they know what his ideology is. They know what his proposals are. They know what his policies are, because they've recently been imposed over the last few years. But they don't know who Nikkihaley is. But damn, they know who Trump is. So Trump is a better reader, actually, of what the final polling will be. That's closer to the actual metric. Nikkihaley is not going to win by 7 points against Joe Biden. She'd lose. She would absolutely lose. The final part of this article is the most crazy. And this is definitely the bargaining stage of grief. They haven't come to the acceptance Nikkihaley will never be in a political position again. That's my official prediction. She's tanked her career. When she loses in her home state, it's over. Go home. Get a slot at MSNBC. Be their next TDS suffering, you can be the replacement for Joy Reid. You sound about the same on gender transitioning and illegal immigrants and a few other issues anyway, and you're an anti-gunner, so you'll fit right in. You'll be right at home. The thing is that the final part of the article goes into talking about not the 24 election. It's effectively an admission that Trump is going to win the nomination. He talks about 28. And by the way, that could be a thing. Let's say Trump wins. Well, the Republicans are set up for potential future victories. Let's say that Trump loses. Well, then Nikkihaley can say, I told you so. I told you that you needed a vagina running for this office and that it wasn't a good idea to nominate a prick. That seems to be your main selling point. Hey, I'm female and, I menstruated in the last decade, so you should vote for me. I'm female. My real name is Nimarana. I practice a different religion from you, so I'm woke and diverse. The liberals won't be able to complain about me as much, even though they would. That's their selling point. Id poll. Id poll and I'm not Orange Man. Orange Man old, Orange Man baggage, polls and shit like that. It's bargaining. It's literally a stage of grief that I've seen. And I'm going to revert to anger when she drops out. I predict she drops out right after South Carolina. I don't think that she's crazy enough to continue after losing, being humiliated in her home state. But it depends on the margin. If she comes within 20 points, she might be nuts batshit enough to go into Super Tuesday just to gobble up a few more, delegates and again, hope for a brokered convention. If it's a crushing loss in South Carolina, she probably drops. These people will proceed to go crazy for 48 or 72 hours or so. I'll never vote for Orange Man. Nikki was my bitch, and Donald Trump is a bitch, and so I'm not going to vote for him. And quietly, most of them will Bill Mitchell mode, and they'll get back on the Trump train. Another prediction. Most of these people do not have TDS bad enough to sit it out when the alternative has just been told by his own DOJ that his memory is too shot for him to be prosecuted. Boy, oh boy, there are so many people out there getting litigated against by the government that wish they could use that excuse. Hey, I don't remember what happened. Yeah, I killed my girlfriend. I don't remember anything about it. What weapon did I use again? Oh, it was a knife? What kind of knife? I don't know. Didn't even know I owned one. I'm just batshit. I'm like Joe Biden. That's about all. Peace out.